So before I swing on here, there we go. We'll check if we can bend his neck and have him stay standing still. Get a foot up there and then hop close to his front shoulder and swing on over. Real nice. Okay, so well, howdy there, folks. I'm here on Dime tonight, and it's a beautiful evening out here in the arena, so I figured this would be as good a chance as any to run through the first 4 fundamental checklist again, and then move on to fundamental number 5, which is steering. So let's check with number 1 first. There. Well, let's bend to the right. See if he can leave his feet still. Nice. Very nice. So let's check the left bend again and then slide a leg back. Good. Bend to a stop. Check your bend. Good. Slide your leg back. Then leg off. And he comes to a stop. So there we go. Let's get on moving. Let's start with our walk here. Now with the walk, Dime's looking pretty comfortable. He's not making a beeline for any one place that he wants to be, and he doesn't seem to be wanting to stop or wanting to run away with me. But we'll see if anything changes once we go to the trot. So I'm not exactly sure where we were when the camera cut out on us or quit following us, but hopefully we can get it to play along with us a little bit more. So with Dime, we were at a walk on a loose rein. So now let's trick that trot on loose rein. And you see how his head comes up, and right here he takes us to where he wants to be. So I'll just flop my legs on him and say, hey, you got to keep trotting. And then if you want to, you can post a little bit. There. And you see how he naturally kind of fills out the arena pretty well. He's not big into coming across the center. So he's basically, when we're starting the steering part of this stuff, one of the exercises is follow the rail. But if your horse is naturally following the rail already, then he's not going to get a lot of benefit out of that exercise. Same ways, there's another steering exercise, which is point to point. And if your horse is going fairly straight, then that's not going to be a very useful tool for you in this moment. So you want to use the tools that are going to be most effective for your horse. So now we're getting his blood up a little bit. Let's see if we can ask him to get soft and bend to a stop. You see how his neck is kind of stiff, sticking up in the air? We're just going to leave the pressure on until we feel him get soft. Look all the way around. You see how much extra energy there is right here? There. Finally came to a stop and got soft. But the whole time he was resisting just a little bit. Now he's soft on this side too. Pretty good. So you first want to just get that real, this is the relaxation part of everything. Then when you're traveling out, that's when you're looking for the rhythm. Hopefully they also relax as they're moving forward, but the relaxation I find often starts from the standstill. Then let's look for a trot. And you see how high his head gets and how he kind of shakes those reins around for himself. No big deal. Just start posting along with him. And maybe just to help him balance out, we'll tip his nose. He felt a little stiff there. So if you start to tip your horse's nose and start to ask them to steer, which is going to be the next step, but they feel heavy, bend to a stop. Just bend all the way around until they stop their feet again. A lot of the time, our horses get stiff either because they're looking for balance or as a means of getting around the turn. But if we just identify that stiffness and then hang on until it goes away, you're creating a much nicer product of a horse. So, and you see how he's he almost, right there I squeezed him with my legs and he almost took a step back first. So what we'd often want to do, and what we'll probably do with him today here, is go ahead and grab a stick. That way you can put pressure in a different spot than just along the flanks all the time. And this stick has a little flag on it, and you can see how gets a little nervous by it. So the first thing we'll do, good, if he starts to trot away, slide down my rein, bend to a stop, and I'm gonna rub him on his hip here because he's worried about it. There you go. Good. Then I'll rub him on the shoulder. Nice. Then I'll swap sides. That was a little better, a little less head toss. Bend him to this side. And I'm going to rub him on his hip. There we go. Rub. Nice. Good. So then now we'll squeeze with our leg and ask for the walk. There, and that's a little more forward as opposed to upward feeling, which is nice. There, if he decides to trot out without me asking, I'll tip his nose, and there he got soft, so I'll toss him back. So now we've basically got him going. We've got the lateral flexion, we've got the hip control, we've got him bending to a stop, and we've got forward motion. We know we can canter him, and we'll get there. But maybe a good thing to add in here now is a little bit of steering. So right there, I slid down one rein, and his neck got soft and his shoulders followed, so I'll just toss that back. We're building this horse piece by piece. Try this side. Slide down the rein. If he comes to get all together with me, then I'll toss him back. This is what we call atomic steering, because it's the smallest atom of steering that you're going to do. And in fact, we've actually already taught our horses quite a bit about how to steer just by bending them to a stop all those times. It gives them that reward, the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's how we're going to continue to teach them how to turn. But if, for instance, we wanted to ride a circle like that, all you have to do is take half as much rein as you'd need for a bend to the stop. And if you feel your horse starting to slow down, hey, that's pretty good. Then you can start actually adding leg to keep them going around the corner. But this is the first dictum we want to teach our horse, is that the hand means get soft and slow down. Good. The leg, there you go, big fella. The leg means engage and speed up or move over. Nice. And you see, now that that resistance at the start of asking him to steer has gotten a lot smaller. There we go. Good. So then we can go on to the body balancing exercise. He's not going to be very difficult to get him balanced. What we're looking for is if you feel your horse say turn to the right, you ask them to arc 180 degrees to the left. If you feel your horse turn to the left, then you arc them 180 degrees to the right. But right here, he's already traveling straight towards you guys. So I'll arc him over here. There. And then drop the rein. There. And see if he wants to, right here, he's starting to list to the left a little bit. So I'll slide down my rein and ask him to turn to the right. And then toss it away. And here again, I'm feeling him arc to the left a little. This is interesting. Usually that's not what happens, but that's okay. So we'll turn him right. Here again, he's working his way a little closer to the fence. So let's see if we can arc him to the right. Now this is not a typical showing. Now I'm feeling him turn right. So then we'll ask him to arc to the left. Drop the rein. Ride straight towards that mounting block there, and he's starting to turn past me. So I'll arc him back to the right. Good. We'll drop those reins. And I'm getting the feeling that he's starting to want to stick by this fence. So we want to make this a little bit more work, and we want to, so we could maybe even ask him to trot here and do a little body balancing. So here he's actually just following the rail pretty nicely. And there he turns right. So I'll slide down my left rein, look for him to arc maybe all the way back there. Good. Nice slow trot coming on here. Even though his head's kind of still sticking in the air, his cadence is starting to get better. So right there, I mean, he had to pick a direction to go, so that's okay with me. So then maybe we'll turn him across the center here. Oh, see how he got stiff? Perfect. We'll just ask him to bend a little more. Wait for those feet to slow down. And there he gets soft. Good. Slide the legs back. There, that trot energy comes pretty nicely. And you see how he arced us there? Well, maybe we'll just tip his nose to the fence and say, oh, let's keep trotting. There you go. Right there, he turns into the fence. So we'll arc him, say, 90 degrees. There. And you see how he's starting to relax here a little bit. Here, I feel him. He was thinking about going left. Or right, I mean. So we started going left, and then he went with us. Good. So he's pretty balanced here. He's not zigzagging around or really trying to take us too many places. And we could do this at the canter if we wanted. Well, let's bend to a stop here. Oh, and if he gets stiff here, I can slide my leg back. I can reach over with my stick and ask those hips to step. Good, leg off, and I'm gonna wait for that neck to turn the other, there, start turning the other way. Right now it's kind of up in the air. There, then he got soft. Yeah. There you go. So if your horse is, right now he's lifting his head, tossing it up and down. So if he's doing that, you just leave him alone. He's just trying to stretch out and loosen his back muscles a little bit. Let's try again. There, that's nicer. He remembered how my leg works. Good. All right. Nicely done, sir. So at this point, since he's doing following the rail pretty well. He's going in a straight line pretty well. We wouldn't go try to do the point to point, and we wouldn't do following the rail. Instead, what we may want to do is the 4-leaf clover exercise, because I find that one really gets a horse supple and listening and relaxing into their natural gait. So maybe we'll try it down here. I'll start him off in the walk, and then we'll start off with all left turns. And the idea is we want to start making a 4-leaf clover. And I'll carry my stick on the inside. And so at a walk here, what it would look like is you'd turn across the center, pick a point on the fence and ride straight to it. And then when you got to the wall, you'd make another left turn and you'd turn for a quarter of a circle. So you'd turn all the way through here till you get back to the center. And then you make another left turn. You ride to a point on the fence. Ride straight for your point, and when you get there, slide down your rein and make a quarter of a circle to the left. You see how this is starting to make that 4-leaf clover shape? Ride straight across. Right there, if I feel them overturn, I can straighten them out with my outside rein, and then arc to the left. Good. So once we turn past the center again here, we can push this up into a trot. And you see there, he even sticks his head up in the air. So right now, we're just not going to worry about that. That's his way of climbing up and gaining momentum. So we're just going to practice left turns. Find your point in the middle, left turn. Left turn. And you see how he his head's almost like a washboard here. Left turn. There. Now, as I'm sliding down my rein, he's starting to get a little softer in the neck. There we go. Find my center point again. Left turn. So right here now I can feel him anticipating that left turn, and he's starting to try to turn as we go across the center. So then we can change things up on him and go for right turns. Yeah. Right turn here. The key and the benefit to this exercise is you're giving your horse some sort of consistency by only turning one direction. And you're lulling them into this sort of relaxed, centered state. Even if their head's in the air, even if they're kind of pulling themselves along by their front end right now. There we go. It gets them to start thinking about, so right turn here, yeah. And then where's the next one? Right about here, he goes, okay, I got it, right turn. There, I feel him still thinking about the left, so we'll go right turn. But after a while, he starts thinking, all right, I know what the next thing is. It's right turn, correct, buddy? Like right there. I feel him naturally making that right turn. There we go. Okay, so again, now that he had that little moment of, okay, what happens if I try to break to the walk? Oh, I guess a bee stings me. Yep. So now he's anticipating that right turn. Good boy. Starting to. Yep. So then we'll turn left. Maybe we'll even do a left circle. There, that's nicer. And travel on out. So, you know, going in and working on a pattern for a while, like the 4-leaf clover, is a real good idea. And then switching that pattern up again and finding really where your horse needs what he needs. So for instance, right here, if he's kind of sticking his head up in the air, there, we'll ask him to turn a little more until it's not so much that he's, see how he's running around with his front end there? We're gonna wait until he balances himself a little bit. Yep. So there he's going, okay, if I speed up, then I trip. There. What if I start to shape myself up? Try another right turn. Right circle. Wait for it. Here he's resisting and speeding up. The old saying, speed is an evasion. So you can help slow him down, or you can wait for him to slow himself down. And oh, right there, he swung himself back out of that turn. So we're gonna keep going until we feel it get balanced. There, you see he's getting that cadence. There's more balance. So we'll turn back to the left. There's a little more balance. Good. So then, since his right turn's been the difficult side, let's go ahead and slide down that right rein. Oh. First, I want to feel him arc around there. Good. Then we can die in our seat, relax, and wait for him to get soft again. Let's turn so you're facing the camera there, big fella. There. Good. That's a lot of work for a big guy like this. So, once your horse is pretty comfortable traveling out on a loose rein, and if he's anything like this one here, the next thing to work on is really getting him steering well and straight. Because the old German term for collection is actually turnable, Strahle. So if you can get your horse turnable, then you can get him straight, and that's a one step closer to this. There, this illustrious, elusive collection that we're all looking for. Good. So then let's walk. Nice. Slide down my right rein. See how the turn is? Hey, that's pretty good. Slide down my left rein. See how the turn is? That's pretty good. Let's try the right rein again. There. He feels like on this side he's wanting to run out just a little bit. There, he kept it in check. Let's try a right turn again. And sometimes if you have softness at the walk and you want to see if you can carry it up, a good way to do that is just leave your hands right where they are and see if you can speed your horse up. There you go. And you see how he kind of maintained his frame all the way up into the trot there. And here, this is real nice. He's starting to slow down and soften when we go in for these turns. There. And then need a little leg for support. Yeah. There we go. So then we could ride back in, see if we can, oh, there we go, get some more clovers going. See how that turn got nicer. Then we'll slide down the rein again, nice and gentle. Good. The slower you can move your hands, the more warning that gives them. There you go. Good. Slide down again. Good. There we go. And let's go in for some left turns. There he wants to, if your horse wants to dive in or really swing their shoulders through, then you could open your rein to the inside and go, all right, fall right in. And usually they'll go, oh, I didn't want to turn that much. And they'll start to stand the shoulders up for themselves. So then off for, look for where our clover leaf is. Nice. Left turn. Look across the arena, reach for it. Good. Starting to feel a little softer about things. And right here, he's maybe a little stiff, so we could go in for a left circle. Maybe 2 left circles. And then look right down the middle. Good. And then left turn. Then right turn. Good. Oop, drop my stick. Then left turn. That's nicer, but not quite it. There. Slide down the rein again. Look right for it. That time he kind of pivoted as opposed to turned. Let's try that left turn again. Full circle. There's a turn. Look for your center line. And then a good way to finish this is, if you pick your point on the arena, just ride straight to the wall and let that energy naturally come down. Good. Well, that might be a pretty good spot for tonight. Pretty good place to conclude things. Let's check his right bend here. You see, after moving out a little bit, he may have a little forward energy stuck in there. Good. Try the right bend again. Good. All right. Let's walk out here, Don. So you can see how everything starts to dovetail together. The first 4 fundamentals plays into very naturally then beginning to steer and work on that. And tonight, you know, we worked on the atomic steering, body balancing, and then the 4-leaf clover, and sort of switched in between those 3 tools. Oh, dropped our sunglasses there. I'll come go get those too. But, and then as you progress with your horse, or as Dime progresses along here, we'll hopefully be able to show you how that four-leaf clover changes and how he starts to accept it and starts to look a lot better and straighter going around these maneuvers. And then we'll show you the next step with him, which would be teaching him how to accept both reins. Because through all these exercises, we're only pulling on one rein at a time, and that's getting him real soft on the left and real soft on the right. But after you can get him real soft on one side, real soft on the other, and then engage one foot at a time, then it becomes a real simple matter of asking him to soften to the left and the right at the same time, and asking both of his hind feet to engage. And that's how we'll work into our backup. But for right now, play with those little exercises. Remember, only pull on one rein at a time. First look for the atomic level of steering. Then look that he travels straight on his own. And then ride on in and try putting it together and making your first shape, which would be the four-leaf clover. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that tonight.